Good morning, everybody. It's an understatement to say that this election season has been a gift that keeps on giving, but I guess we'll leave that to SNL and Larry David. But one reason why I'm so excited about this panel is that, and this group, is that they represent two stakeholder groups, two groups that I really think are just not represented and really often don't have a voice. First, those of us who don't have the luxury and privilege of working from home, the essential workers out there. So I think we got a good cross section here, as well as, quite frankly, the environment. It often doesn't have a voice. So I think we've got a good cross section here. And what's great about this group is that, each of them has a unique platform and an approach on what they're doing to get out the vote. And based on the numbers that I've seen that have already voted, all I can say is good work and good trouble. So, I'd like to start with Business for America. Sarah, just what have you been up to? What's going on? What are you doing?
So much. Thanks, Leon. We started 2020 like a lot of folks, not expecting to be where we are today. And we started the year with Time to Vote that was started by Patagonia, Levi Strauss, and PayPal. And the notion that we would be like we see so many companies doing now, making sure that employees had time to vote and did not have to choose between a paycheck and exercising that right. And with COVID, we really shifted our focus to voter safety and ensuring that election officials had the resources they needed to keep poll workers and voters safe. We were asking companies to help recruit poll workers and to contribute to this movement of protecting voters and poll workers. And we started up, first of all, we did a letter to Congress asking for those funds, and we did some advocacy around that. So using the business voice for good. And then we shifted to what we call Operation Vote Safe, which is still underway because the election is underway, where we're offering business assistance to local election officials and get out the vote groups. Business for America is a business group. And so everything that we do is centered around how can we create a set of activities that make sense for business to engage in, that are the appropriate way for them to support the health of our democracy, and to create a common ground where we recognize that the interests of business are aligned with the interests of the public, and having elections that are well run, voters that can vote safely, and elections that we can all trust.
That's great. It's exciting to see how the huge difference how businesses have played in this election, even compared to 2 years ago. And forget about 2016. And one trend that we've seen is the fact that a lot more companies are saying, you know what, you don't have to choose between showing up and filling in, punching your time card and going to vote. For instance, so this election, and quite frankly, all elections period, it's not about really reminding people to vote. It's about getting those people who haven't registered, right, who still have time to get out there, and that's what makes the difference. So this leads to a nice segue to, we have some PSAs that some are just very new or being shown for the first time. So someone out there is going to cue the first one up.
This election year is unlike any other election in our nation's history.
Though mail-in voting is possible for many, we still expect many Americans to be voting in person.
Anderson is proud to be a part of the democratic process by encouraging people to vote and keeping everyone safe during that process.
At Hims and Hers, we believe every individual deserves access to education and the empowerment to use their voice in taking care of themselves.
We want to keep voters and election workers safe because what they're doing is so critical to the integrity of the democratic process.
It's so important for company leaders to ensure their employees are able to vote, have a vote plan, or work the polls this year. And we are grateful to Business for America for enabling us to help with the bigger picture.
Join us at operationvotesafe.org.
So beyond the fact that Ecos did great with the product placement and the fact that we're living in this world where, that looked like a bunch of Zoom calls thrown together and it flowed really nicely. So bottom lines, Sarah, what's that message you want to instill in people?
Yeah, I mean, there's really two things. One is that there are activities that businesses can do right now that, you know, whether it's using their products or using their other resources, their staff, their funds, to help run elections with integrity this year. But I think we're starting to tease out a deeper theme here that my co-panelists alluded to, which is that, you know, businesses care about a lot of things. We have all these purpose-driven businesses that want to create good in the world, brands with purpose. And our democratic process is crucial to achieving that. We're not going to make the progress on climate or racial equity or access, you know, protection of essential workers without having government policies, public policies that are aligned with those outcomes. And essentially, the message here for Business for America over the long haul is we have to address the health of our elections, not just with you know, our products and running the election in 2020, but with a long-term commitment to the integrity of our elections, the integrity of the democratic process, and that business has a legitimate stake at the table there and a corporate civic responsibility to help create change and create the kind of democracy that is going to allow us to shape the future that we all want to see.
You're absolutely right. Your work is not done after November 3rd. I mean, the focus needs to be on changing these laws, because when you see these lines and the hoops that people have to jump through, I'll just say it, it's horrifying. I'm lucky I live in a state where it's easy. I've voted absentee since 2002, I realized. But there are a lot of workers out there that, again, they just, again, are essential workers that just don't have that option. So I'm really sorry. I wish I could have kept you on another 30 minutes because you've all been fantastic. You're doing such great work. And bottom line, your work is paying off. Fingers crossed. And with that, I believe we're going to go back to just thank you, everybody.